Our beauty queens, Oratile Pearl Baliti, Mitepi Elias, Mimi Diana Josego Khopadileng, Kelebogile Bakoko, Judith One Khwadi, Debbie Repenyane Liburu, Lorato Ipube, Evita Puisepo Tobogang, Judith Rice Tokweng, Kenaupe Penyo Madisa Kwane, Ivy Bunno Tomba, Oratile Buti, Amanda Patsimora Matsi, Nicole Lisa Hailebale, Olorato Kyalotse, Pio Ntuyakumo, Nelo Sapelon Tobatang, Mudioki Haburoni, Matohonolo Moses, Lungo Mipimedi, Chopula Kemo Allegra Musweu, Una Letata Tale, Kaune Masilo, Ua Morangi, Katlego Mendri Hausenelele, Uzapi Mange, Le Mpo Muloi. These, ladies and gentlemen, are our top 30 finalists for this year's Miss Botswana pageant. From all corners of the country.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Good morning, Miss Botswana. Good morning, the queens. I'm so happy for you. A very short thing, just to thank everyone for coming here for the unveiling of our top 30 finalists. This morning, leave your offices, leave your jobs, come here and unveil with us the top 30 Miss Botswana finalists for 2017. The media house, all of you, I thank you so much, the Ministry of Youth, and then everyone who is here. Thank you so much.
There's nothing wrong with being nervous. There's nothing wrong with second guessing yourself. But don't second guess yourself on stage. Don't make the person who's looking at you and who's listening to you see the nerves that are coming across. Right now, I'm shaking in my boots. I want to leave. But you can't tell. Can you tell? You can't. Because I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and then I'm gonna leave. I just want to do what I'm here to do and leave, right? So what you gotta do is be there, do what you're there to do, and leave. If you're given a task to say, okay, you're going to speak to people, you're going to speak to maybe a few girls, you're going to talk to them about, being confident, or talk to them about your project, or maybe present your project, right? When you get there, the first thing that you do, ensure that you are well prepared. That is the first thing that you do when you go public speaking. Ensure that you are properly prepared. Prepare. It's better to have more information than to have less information. Okay? So if you're called, for example, to come for an audition here in Miss Botswana, don't just come out, I'm hot, I'm beautiful, I know the ins and outs of fashion, so I'm going to just present myself there and they will see that I am the next big thing. You need to prepare even your mind. Anything that you get your hands on, from now on, anything that you get your hands on, a newspaper, a pamphlet, a novel, whatever it is, trust me, it works. It expands your vocabulary. It also just lets you know on what is happening around the world. As a Miss Botswana contestant, you need to know your current affairs. You can't afford not to know who the current SADC president is, who the current SADC chairperson is. You can't afford not to know that. So being hot, being beautiful, knowing the ins and outs of fashion will not help you. You need to enhance yourself more. Even as a young woman, you need to empower yourself more, because it's better for you to speak to somebody and have a proper conversation, a smart conversation. Because when I look at you and you look exotic, you look hot, and then I try to have a conversation with you and there's nothing that comes out of you, I'm literally just going to leave. I'm not attracted to talking to you anymore. As an investor, as somebody who has a potential to catapult you and your project to the next level, I'm not interested anymore. So it's very vital for you to know as much as you possibly can about what is happening in your country and the world that you live in, everywhere.
There are many ways that you begin a speech, and today we're going to talk about all those aspects of public speaking. As Rati has already mentioned, that was lovely, by the way. I almost quit, I almost went back home. According to most studies or statistics, the number one fear for many people is public speaking. People put it up there with death, people put it up there with fear of heights, fear of whatever it is that you fear. So at a funeral, you'd actually prefer to be in the casket as compared to the one giving the speech, right, or the eulogy. So that is how bad it is.
Your presentation needs to be properly structured. Your answering needs to be properly structured. I'm not going to go into the style and nuances because they spoke quite well about those earlier on. I work in an environment where I have to deal with proposals every day, literally. And you read those things and sometimes it's nicely done, it's neatly packaged, but look, officially I have only 8 hours in a day to read through this thing. So now you bring through something that is 30, 40 pages and you think you're coming in to show how much hard work you put in it. But that thing could have been done in 5, 6 or 7 pages. So why don't you do it in that period? The same thing goes to answering questions. Sometimes you have a question that is pretty simple. This girl is coming up so well, she's answering really well, but she doesn't know where to stop. She's answered it adequately, but she wants to continue impressing because by cheer, you've got no business dealing with the crowd. You're not, a football player or a gladiator or something like that. You're not responding to what the crowd is saying. You went in there with a mission. Your mission is to tell them what you want to tell them. You tell them what you want to tell them. What they say or think is not your business. Say it, then get out of that place. When you're going to make presentations, and I'm giving you Kaloko Pisa, you must dress for the occasion. What it means is consider what it is that you're doing and look like you're the kind of person who can sort out the problem. You know, most training, there are things that we look at, oh, well. Do you guys, have you ever heard, oh, well, yeah, you know, I'm very fast, I'm a football player, I'm a rugby player, oh, well. Do you know why people do that or say that? Why? You don't look the part. That's exactly what happens also with presentations. So, somebody walks into your office. Always you look at them, and I don't care where you go. It doesn't matter who's dealing with you. You walk into a person's office to propose something, the very first impressions are physical. That's part of the reason why people who are attractive do well in sales.
The journey to Miss Botswana 2017 continues, and the ladies have had the honor to be hosted by MCOP in Riverwalk for lunch. With me here is the owner and the general manager of MCOP, who we shall be having an interaction with to find out more about MCOP and why they are behind Miss Botswana. So welcome, and how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes, Bruce Ladakapile, the managing director of my kind of place, commonly known as MCOP. Yes, we are a lounge and we are also a restaurant. And we are pleased to be part of this Botswana 2017. And as a youth-owned enterprise, we take pride in participating in everything that has to do with advancing and taking young people forward. Yeah.
That is great. So what does MCOP have to offer? Tell us about the services that you offer.
My kind of place is everyone's place. It's also your kind of place. We offer a wide range of services that start from fine dining. We offer a lounge, we've got drinks and refreshments, but most importantly, we are a lifestyle place where people dress up, to come and have, very, very good food, very, very good drinks and so on.
That is interesting.
Exactly.
So why did you find it important to align yourself or to be a part of Miss Botswana this year?
We are a big brand that is growing, and Miss Botswana is also a big brand. So we only align and associate ourselves with people that we believe can add value. So hence we see the value addition we're able to partner or sponsor.
That is great.
Yeah.
You have seen the ladies. You spent afternoon with the ladies. You've seen all of them. What have you seen? What can you say? How do you feel about our top 30?
I think it's going to be a cracker, a head cracker. I think it's going to be very, 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 very tight. The ladies are all suited up, to style, and I think the judges are going to have a hard time. So I really can't wait for the grand finale, which I'm going to attend for sure. To see who will ultimately win.
Indeed, it's going to be a very tough one. It's going to be exciting. I feel sorry for the judges, in fact.
Same here.
So, any last words that you wanted to share to the ladies or to anyone who aspires to be the next Miss Botswana?
Exactly. Firstly, what I'd like to say to the contestants is obviously that they must believe in themselves. This is the beginning of always, and if they keep their minds to it, one way or the other they will achieve. And obviously to the nation, to actually call them to run behind this project, it's a national project. And of course, they should always pass by my kind of place, grab a drink or two, or even some of our very marvelous dishes.
Definitely. Mr. Bruce Hakile, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for hosting the ladies this afternoon. It was great. The food was awesome. The experience, it was beautiful, honestly. Thank you very much. We'll definitely come back again.
See you.
Vincent was talking to you about general structure of how do you deal with impromptu speeches or presentations.
I want to talk about priority of ideas, right? The most important thing when it comes to structure is your chronology of ideas. Do you have the most important ideas coming out first? So for example, if we're talking about youth unemployment, if the first thing you say is youth unemployment in Botswana is a problem because people have too much time on their hands. It is a problem, yes indeed, but it's not the most important problem when you're talking about youth unemployment. The most vital problem there is that people don't have income, they don't have economic emancipation, they can't sort of like actualize, right? So you always want to make sure that under whatever project you're presenting, your strongest ideas come out first. Why is this important? This is important because this is our first interaction with you. This is the first thing we hear about you. It gauges what we think about you for the entirety of your presentation. So I remember what I used to like doing because I thought it was smart, was I'd have my weak ideas first, my strong ideas at the end, because I wanted to end with a bang. It doesn't work that way. By the time your strong ideas come out, people are tired of you, people aren't listening to you, so they don't really credit those ideas as strongly as they ought to. So it's important when you're looking at your projects and you're looking at the supporting materials for your projects to weigh them. Which is most important? What's the most pertinent issue? What issue most affects the people? What problem or solution is best for the people? And those things need to come out right at the beginning. That's the first bang, right in like the first 1 or 2 minutes of your presentation, and then you can go on and develop those ideas, right? Developing ideas. How do you develop supporting an idea? It's called why analysis, right? So you have a problem and you want to talk about why that problem is a big problem or why the solution you have for that problem is the right solution. All you have to do is keep asking yourself why. So let's do this. Sex work is something that should be regulated by the government. It should be made legal. Why? Because if you make it legal, you can now protect those ladies who get abused. Why? Protection is important because the government has a fundamental responsibility to protect every citizen. Why? Because it's the citizens who elect the government and put them in power. Why? Because we like structural government. We like the idea that there's this big body that protects all of us equally. Why? Because equal rights are important. Why? Because human rights. Why? Stop asking me why. By the time you've gone through 4 or 5 layers of why, your idea is so developed to the extent that it's a lot more difficult for even the judges to try and critique what it is that you've left out. So don't be afraid to get into your idea and explain it so that you flesh it out in a way that makes it difficult for anyone to critique that idea. That's just chronology of ideas. Second thing, problem solution matching. This is something we discussed briefly yesterday, but we sort of dealt with it in a comment section, so I wanted to flesh it out a bit more. One thing I said yesterday was the use of empirical evidence, right? You need to use an example. There is no argument in the world that's a standalone argument, that's a strong argument if it isn't supported by empirical evidence. Because at the point which you don't have any examples, it's basically just theory. And theory doesn't convince me about why the practical implications of what you're talking about are something that can be realized. Why is it that if we give you all of this funding and we give you the space to do these things, you're going to be able to achieve what it is you say you're going to set out to achieve? The only way you can ever prove that is by saying, hey, Vincent did it in Shagawe, Edward did it in Francistown, and it worked the exact same way. That is proof, given that we can do it here as well. So it's really, really important that you're able to use those examples and make sure that you flesh them out in a way that shows the relatability, right?
The experience is very good. I've learned a lot throughout the 2 days I've been here. In the morning we had a workout. It was very good. It was very boosting. We've had a seminar and I've learned a lot. I've acquired very, very important information. Well, I feel like what I'll be bringing is more of me, more of my capabilities, more of my strengths, more of the things that I can do. And I feel like that is what makes me special and different from the rest of the girls, because I can only be one Amanda, and that is who you are going to see.
Tell me, how was it like, or how did you feel being called and being told that you made it through as one of the top 30 finalists?
It was very shocking because I did not expect the call, and it was just amazing. I was happy when I got it, and I was proud of myself. I am very proud of myself.
This was the first bootcamp. Tell me how it was, your experience.
Well, the experience was quite interesting because you never knew what to expect. That's the greatest part. And I got to learn a lot of things from a lot of people. Practically everybody I've met, and it has made me grow in a certain way. I have grown, and I can say that I'm a better person than I was yesterday or Friday when I came here. So I'm very proud and I'm very happy that I ended up here and I've learned what I've learned. I thank the management, Miss Botswana management. It's amazing.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It was difficult in the morning. It was very difficult, but it came better after I heard Oratile Kifihlile, after hearing her motivational speech. It was enlightening.
You are not new in this beauty industry.
No, I'm not.
What do you think makes you stand out this time, and what strategy are you coming with to get in the crown?
Well, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this fact, but it's actually the 6th time I'm trying out for Miss Botswana. The 6th and the last, because of the age restriction. If it wasn't for that, I will be back up until I get it. And my strategy, honestly speaking, is just hard work and knowing what you want. And what I want is an opportunity to represent my country in this world, because that is all I've ever prepared for, and I believe I can make my country proud.
And this was your first bootcamp. How has your experience been like?
It's been amazing. I've met so many beautiful, intelligent women with so many different personalities, and we've learned a lot. We've had a presentation class today where we've got to learn that preparation is key in everything, especially during a competition like this, because you have to prepare. If you're not prepared and if you don't have a good strategy, you will not make it.
Indeed. You have seen them, you have heard them. These are indeed beauties with brains. This competition is really intense, and I feel sorry for the judges who have, at the end of the day, to select Miss Botswana 2017. My name, ladies and gentlemen, is Sawana Magapi, and it has pleasure being your host.